Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Walk and Talk. Today, I'm going to give you the JWB monthly rent collection and leasing update. And like I've been able to do for the last, 6 months that we've been doing this, I have some really great news to share with all of you. Might be contrary to what you're hearing in the news and what you may be feeling, but rent collection continues to be strong here in Jacksonville, here with JWB, and we manage over 3,500 rental homes. So it's a great source of data for you all to make confident decisions with your investment properties. But I'll get you the data right here. So what we've been able to see consistently through COVID is that we've been able to produce over 97% rent collection. In March of this year, it was over 98%, and that's when COVID broke. Typical month for JWB comes in at 98.5%, kind of not taking COVID into reality. And since COVID, we've been just over 97% in the months after that. So we're about a point off from what non-COVID months are, which is an incredible accomplishment, brings consistency to this asset class, and something that brings a lot of peace of mind to our clients. So came in at June, just over 97%. Wanted to point out, and for July and August, we're trending very similarly. We should be right there as the numbers finalize. The numbers finalize 30 days after the month's end. So that's where I'll always be able to compare apples to apples for you. But we're trending in a very similar fashion for July and August. Something to keep in mind, though, is this eviction moratorium, which does not allow us to evict tenants for non-payment, really hurts our rent collection percentages. Saying it another way, if we perform at the same rate and just collect rent from the people who would have otherwise been evicted, our rent percentages would actually be much higher. But when you have a moratorium, those tenants do not pay rent who are not paying, and they stay on the books in the subsequent months. So I just wanted to point this out. The fact that we're still able to get over 97%, even though we're kind of dealing with those kind of dead payments in a sense, makes it harder for us to perform on a percentage basis. So that what that would mean is that in coming months, you'll probably see slight declines, even though we're continuing to perform really, really well. And then when the eviction moratorium is lifted, we're able to evict those who had not been making payments. You would see that would actually help the percentage going forward. But as I mentioned, we're right around 97%. It's an incredible accomplishment for the JWB team. And welcome to everybody here who is walking with me on the Walk and Talk today. We're giving a rent collection and leasing update here at JWB for all of our clients and for all of our potential clients out there. Some really other great things to keep in mind. The numbers on the leasing side are staggering. At one point when COVID broke, people were wondering if they were going to lease homes anymore. How is that process going to work? How do you lease homes in a time of social distancing? Well, we figured all that out with self-guided showings and being able to continue to rent out homes in an environment like COVID is an accomplishment in itself. But the numbers that our leasing team are putting up are staggering. So in the month of June, I shared with you all that we moved in 113 new residents, which was a new JWB world record for a month, because in July, we moved in 126. So leasing continues to be extremely strong. Again, another JWB world record, and something that I'm super proud of our leasing team for handling. Just shows that there's a real demand for the Jacksonville market. There's a real demand for single family housing where you have more opportunity to have some space. And there's a real demand for our products out there, either new construction or renovated homes. These homes are built to last. They look beautiful, and our residents are taking advantage of them. On the other side, something that gets forgotten about in property management many times is the rate of renewal. And for all of you who own rental properties, lease renewals, are an incredibly important accomplishment for you, because every time that we renew a lease for a client, that's us like putting thousands of dollars back in the pocket of that client, because there's no turnover cost. Typically, you got to spend a couple $1,000s to repair the property, put it back into rental shape. There's no vacancy cost, right? You don't have those mortgage payments going out, and you're losing what rent you're not collecting while the market, while the time is being taken to put the house back on the market and then rent it again. So you don't have that vacancy cost. And then you don't have the new tenant placement fee. You bypass all of those things when you get a lease renewal, and that's one of the reasons that our residents stay on average over 4 years, and our leasing team and our property management team crush it. So in the month of July alone, we renewed 78 leases, which puts us right on track for our annual goal of 70% of renewed leases. 7 out of 10 residents who already signed up for a long-term lease with JWB are making the decision to renew, which is a great sign for the health of our property management company and the services that we provide for our residents. And it's a sign of great health for our investments as well, because you do not have those turnover costs. You do not have those property management tenant placement fees. You do not have those vacancy costs when you get a lease renewal. And then lastly, there's a whole lot of new information when it comes to the eviction moratorium. We heard President Trump's executive action, which did some things. It specifically did not extend the eviction moratorium. That's been a really common question. So a little bit of clarity there. It specifically did not extend the eviction moratorium across the country or for mortgages that were affected through the CARES Act. In Florida, we still do have our eviction moratorium that was extended through September 1st. However, what's being shown now and what's being relayed now, and I'm going to post this on the group, is that Governor DeSantis of Florida narrowed the scope of what is allowed for an eviction and what's not allowed for an eviction. And so Governor DeSantis is putting the burden on the resident to show and document a hardship from COVID that resulted in a job loss or diminishing wages or somehow business income that doesn't allow them to make the same amount of rent payment. So the burden of proof is on the resident now. Other evictions are allowed to proceed, so you're starting to see those start to get in line with the courts all across the state. So nice little rental update for you all. We talked about rent collection, we talked about leasing stats, and we talked about renewals. And I hope all of you will join us. We're going to get going live here. We've got the Not Your Average Investor show here in about 20 minutes. We've got an incredible guest. And if you're not registered for the show, that's the best way to get your text updates and your email updates so you know exactly how to jump on the show. You've got the link provided to you. To get all of those, go to jwbshow.com. Sign up right there. And I will catch you live on the show here in about 20 minutes. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Take care.